Yo, wait. Cool. Let's go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cricket.com. My name is Nalidi Apan, and of course, I am with Tandeka Dube. It's been an amazing tournament so far. You know, the ICC Cricket Men's World Cup 2023. We've just concluded the league stages, and of course, the top four has been confirmed with India, who will be facing New Zealand in the semi-final number one. And of course, in the second semi-final, we've got South Africa up against Australia. And of course, what we're going to be doing today is just to keep you updated, with everything that has been happening, throughout this tournament. And of course, we have to go through the records that have been broken as well by certain players, by certain teams, and see what it is that we can look forward to in the semi-finals. And of course, that's why Tandy and I are here to, just make sure that you are up to date with every single thing that is happening. So, Tandy, man, what a tournament it has been. I can't believe that we're just 3 matches away from wrapping it up. It's been amazing.
Time is flying, really.
Yeah.
When you remember from day one when we're counting, okay, first match gone, next one. Now we're only counting down to just 3 left, and we're home and dry.
I mean, it's been a long time coming. 45 matches done. 45. That's a lot of matches, especially because they've been playing every day. But more than anything, I think we were so entertained,
Yes.
And there's certain teams that really did pull up spectacular performances, in the likes of Australia and the likes of South Africa, so teams will just be looking to make it out of the semi-finals. And of course, we have to look through the stats and just, know who made, which or broke which records. And everything that we just need to know. I don't know if you want to go first, or should I just go first in this one?
You can go first, but I just want to comment on, I'm sure England broke the record of being at the bottom for the longest, and finally finding themselves in the top 7. And then for New Zealand, they were in the leading board for a while until India just came and overtook everyone. Then Australia was in the 5th position, but somehow they managed to go all the way to be in the top 4. So it has been one of those roller coasting moments for the teams, which shows how much competition was right there. 1 minute you're at the top, and you're not supposed to feel too relaxed because someone will come and overtake you.
Exactly. And like, I just wanna, search. I'll be doing that throughout the show. Like, I just want to Google to find out if there's been any team that has won the World Cup. And then when coming to the next World Cup, in order to defend it, they've been struggling and they've never made it to the semi-final. I think that's going to be interesting to see if England are really just breaking that record of being defending champions and just failing even to make it out of the group stage into the semi-finals.
Yeah, unlike Australia, I'm sure they once won the World Cup before, and then they still find themselves in the semi-finals all the time. So I feel those are the much standard semis with India. The last time they hosted it, they won it. Now they're finding themselves again in the semi-finals, which is the basic, most like basics, what they're supposed to do, find themselves in the semis, even if they lose. It doesn't matter. But to find yourself in the bottom, I don't know.
As the defending champion, even. So that is just, crazy stuff. But let's look at the highest run rate for the ODI double century, by Indians in this World Cup, because they just seem to have been breaking records, making names for themselves in every single match. Again, I still say that this is India's trophy to lose. I feel like they already have it in lock, like it's done.
Like yesterday's match, it was just so beautiful in the sense that we thought Netherlands had got them. The way at first they started off taking all those wickets, slowing them down. The next minute, we are just minding our own business with our watch along. We're seeing them. They are now in 400, and apparently that was the highest they've gotten so far in this tournament. And it shows how easy it was for them, really, because they knew how much to pull through. And the next thing is that Netherlands managed to get almost most of the players to play, in the sense that they tested from the top order up to the middle to see how they were doing. And the top order failed to do much. In the likes of Rohit Sharma only at 61, 58, Shubman Gill, he has 50 of 32. Virat Kohli 51 of 56. And then the middle order had to serve the team of the likes of Shiraz Lair with 128 of 94, with a strike rate of 136.17, which was good. Everyone else, the strike rates were quite high, but now the number of runs they had to be served by the likes of the Glenn Maxwell of India, that type of thing. So it was quite a good experience and more records to be broken, like what we said yesterday, that we hoped that they're going to rotate players. But the fact that they saw their players are still fit and okay, and they knew there were more records to be broken into. Yesterday was the last day they had to do that, and of which they did, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and just speaking about yesterday's match, India batting first, Sri Lanka, Netherlands chasing that one. I think South Africa and Sri Lanka, who were bowled out by India, having not reached 100 runs, they would just look at that match and look at what Netherlands did. Netherlands did put up a fight. Yes. I think what was the score? 200 and something, right? For Netherlands yesterday chasing. So for South Africa and Sri Lanka to have been bowled out before even reaching 250. For South Africa, I think they were bowled out in less than 100 runs. Sri Lanka as well for 55 runs. So these teams are the teams that really are above Netherlands in that log table, but Netherlands seems to be the only team that could get India to chase that match as well.
And they lasted for 47.5 overs. Imagine, of which those are the
it's so impressive. It is so impressive. So going through the stats, the highest run rate for ODI double century stand by Indians in this tournament. You've got at 9.82 with Shreyas and Rahul. That was against Netherlands yesterday. And then at 9.15, it was Keshav and Virat Kohli against Bangladesh in 2022. Again, Shiraz being, just the key player for India in the highest run rate, for double ODI centuries, at third place, 8.75. It was Shiraz as well as Virat, the captain, Rohit Sharma in against Sri Lanka in 2017. So what a performance really from Shares in every World Cup, in every ODI for India. He just seems to be the main man for them.
I wonder where he has been hiding all this time until yesterday. Or he was just being shadowed by the bigger guns, the more celebrities like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. He was just doing minimum work.
I think it's just always been there, but of course, like under the shadows, like you say. So it's never really easy when you've got all those big players in the team. And again, Shreyas and Rahul share India's first double century partnership for fourth or lower wicket in the World Cup. The previous highest was 196 by Emma Stoney and Ralina. That was against your country, your team in Zim in 2015. Again,
how many years ago?
That was 7 years. I think it's crazy that 2015 has been so long ago. It feels like it was yesterday. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
That's
20.
8 years.
What? 2015 was 8 years ago. Wow. That is time really just these years are just going by so quick. I feel like we'll just be so grown in
December, and then we're done back to 2024. Then we count down for the Champions League and the next World Cup. It's going to be an interesting years ahead.
It's definitely going to be an interesting one. But coming back to India as well, with that match that they played yesterday against Netherlands, they won by 410 for the loss of 4. So very impressive, tournament that India has had. This is the first ever World Cup innings by 550 plus scores. And this is also the first ever Indian ODI innings with 550 plus scores. So I feel like Netherlands will have to dig deep in order for them to beat this Indian side. This side just seems to be they're just doing something right. They're just doing something right. And also, it goes back to saying teams that host the World Cup just seem
Yeah.
to be winning it. 2019 England hosted, they won that.
Mm.
2011 India hosted it, they won it. 2023 India hosting it, potentially winning it, because they are just the only unbeaten team so far, and they seem to just be just flying high, breaking records. So I think it's just looking so good for India.
And if I was New Zealand right now, I'll be trying to search all the loopholes somehow to find out what is it that makes them tick, like their weaknesses, because the way they've been playing, they just have been unstoppable all the way, not showing any signs of weaknesses or any losses, because they know the moment if you take out one person and they've got the whole rest of the squad to back them up, that shows how solid they are, how much informed they are, and they are really in it to win it for sure.
But like, don't you think all these other teams that played against India just also went into their matches against India looking for loopholes? You know, it's like you do see the loophole, but you don't know how to utilize it. I feel like all these 9 teams that played against India, they just tried that. But it just seems like they just solid. It looks like there is no loophole anywhere in that squad.
Definitely, because I'm just thinking they can't be scared of the name, in the sense that last World Cup they didn't win, so most probably they would have came to this tournament being scared of either Australia or England, but of which they were at the bottom. But somehow these guys, like, they just were like, okay, this is our place, our territory, so we're just going to have that home advantage and people advantage, like the fans as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe we'll just say it's the home advantage part.
I mean, it seems to be right for me, because
Yeah.
it seems to be working so much for them. And of course, moving on to 200 from number 4 or lower batters in World Cup innings, you've got David Miller and AB de Villiers against Zimbabwe in 2015. You've got Shreyas Aya as well as Rahul against Netherlands in 2023. Zimbabwe just seemed to be the common denominator in these things. You know, in the year 2015, it seems like they were really catching just proper hands from everybody.
They seem like they really were the fighting guys as well. And we don't know what happened this year.
Yeah. Do you want to continue with the stats?
Oh yes. We come down to the team scoring 250 plus against India in ODI World Cups this year. We've got the likes of Afghanistan, where they scored 272 all out, Bangladesh 256 all out, New Zealand 273 all out, Netherlands 250 all out. No other team has reached 200.
So
It's
only
just
four teams.
and they're all out.
And these teams are not in the semi-final. Only New Zealand is in the semi-final amongst those. So South Africa failed to do that. Australia failed to do that. So obviously Netherlands, New Zealand rather, will go into that match, you know, just looking to continue where they left off, you know.
Yeah, and also seems like New Zealand in this list here, it has been the highest.
Yeah.
Go the runs and they're all out. So it's going to be interesting on Wednesday, since they're going to face each other again, India versus New Zealand. So we'll see who will win that one. Then we go down to the individual players.
Yeah.
We have Rohit Sharma now having the most ODI sixes in a calendar year. In 2023, he has scored 60 plus runs. 60 plus ODI sixes.
Yeah.
Then 2015, we have AB de Villiers from SA scoring 58 sixes.
Yeah.
We've got Chris Gale from West Indies in 2019, where he scored 56. We've got Afrid Shahid from Pakistan in 2002, where he scored 48 sixes. That shows how much number of sixes people have been scoring of lately. Then the most sixes in an innings in the first 10 overs for India in ODIs. We've got with 5 sixes, we've got Rohit Sharma versus Australia this year. With 4 sixes, we've got Shubra Gill versus Netherlands yesterday. 4 again, we've got Rohit Sharma against Afghanistan. for Rohit Sharma against New Zealand this year.
Rohit Sharma just knows when to
Everywhere.
strike.
Like yesterday,
Whew.
when Charles was like, seems like he has been just been copied and pasted in every
In
state
every
now.
single, like every single stat must have the
Yeah.
captain, and that's
Must
what
be
I
the
love. He's a
captain.
captain. That's what leadership means. You lead by example, and of
Yeah.
course, it'll be easier for the teams to want to replicate what you're doing on the field of play.
He's really setting a good example
Mm.
for other guys as well. And but you realize other captains, the moment they're given that captaincy, just puts them under pressure, then they just underperform. But for
Yeah.
others, it boosts them that confidence and be like, you know what, I shall lead by an example and go all the way.
Mm.
Then we go down to the most international sixes by Indians at a ground.
Mm.
Rohit
Guess who's
Sharma in
number
the
one?
first position again
Mm.
with 32, still counting.
Mm.
Then Sanchit Tendulkar 30, Rohit Sharma 25,
Mm.
at Vegas, then Rohit Sharma at Dubai 25, Rohit Sharma at Qatar 23, Rohit Sharma at Indore 22, then 22 from Rohit Sharma at Dhaka, 21 from Rohit Sharma at Sydney, 19 from Rohit Sharma again at Colombo, MS Dhoni at Kolkata 19, then 18 again from Rohit Sharma, then Sovia Gali 18. Yeah, I'm just seeing Rohit Sharma again with
Like I'm just trying to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Imagine in
Oh.
every single ground,
Mm.
they've been just having those amount of sixes in the tournament. Then the last one before I hand it back to you, India's highest World Cup total with 413 for 5. It was versus Benham in 2007, Port of Spain. Then yesterday's score came second with 410-04 versus Netherlands in yesterday.
Yeah.
Then 373 for 6 versus Sri Lanka in 99. 374 versus Bangladesh in 2011. Versus 357 for 8 versus Sri Lanka this year in Mumbai. So it seems like they're just improving by the day.
I was about to say that the highest in the last match that they scored, I think it was that match against Sri Lanka. And then they have improved from 357 to 410 yesterday against Netherlands. But South Africa still holds the highest total in this tournament. So they will just definitely want to break that record as well to be the first team, with the highest total in the World Cup. So continuing, India in that match against Netherlands yesterday, in the first power play, they scored 91 runs for no loss. In the second power play, they scored 193 runs for the loss of 3. In the third and final power play, they scored 126 runs and only losing 1 wicket. It's just so mind-blowing how a team can lose no wicket in the first power play, and in the last power play just losing only 1. What is happening to the fielding there? Like it seems like Netherlands were just caught sleeping, in that match yesterday.
I think I would say in the first power play they didn't take any wickets because there were fewer fielders outside the 30-yard. So they were mostly just doing their boundary things as usual, where they just hit the ball all over, right? But the second power play, you realize there are more wickets now in the sense of now there are more people outside. The bowlers are feeling more comfortable and safe in the sense that there are other people who can field from those boundaries now.
Yeah.
They'll help them catch the catches because they know they love hitting the high balls. Then you have someone to catch those. So they have that sense of safety. Then for power play 3, there are not as many as power play 2, like the number of fielders.
Yeah.
It depends with the overrate they are going with. So at times they can be penalized and be like, we only want 2 people instead of having the 5 the usual 5. So that's when you realize there are fewer number of wickets there. So they would rather maximize during the second power play. Then in the first power play, it will now come down to the sim bowlers, how accurate are they, just aiming for those wickets straight. Because if you just give them those comfortables, which they're happy with, sixes are going to be done in the fours.
Oh my gosh. So coming back to that match, of course, yesterday, match 45, Rohit Sharma scoring 61 runs from 54 deliveries. Shubman Gill with 55 from 32 balls. Shreyas Iyer with 128 from 84 balls. And of course, Rahul with 102 runs from 64 balls, and Virat Kohli, who was just also looking for a century for himself, getting 51 runs of 56 balls. So that's a spectacular performance from Shreyas. Seems to be peaking right at the right time, giving just because teams will know who to look out for, especially in teams of the opposition. So they seem to know that you need to restrict players like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli in order for India to not get like maximum runs against you. So moving on to the fastest hundreds by Indians in ODI World Cup history. 64 balls. You've got Rahul against Netherlands, which was also yesterday. 63 balls. Rohit Sharma as well against Afghanistan. In 2023, which was also yesterday. Most wickets by Indian spinners in a men's World Cup. At number 16, you've got Ravindra Jadeja, who's also just a young player who's come to the spotlight, in this tournament. 15, you've got Anil Kumble in 96. At number 3, you've got Yuvraj Singh in 2011. 14 with Singh in 1987, and Kuldeep Yadav in 2023 with 14 wickets, by Indian spinners in the Cricket Men's World Cup. So India really just be seeming to, break these records and breaking these records and breaking these records.
And I'm just liking the way this youngster just came in and just overtook the record, which he was there. Like the highest was 15, right? That was in 2011. Then just few years later, like not few, that's a whole lot. 2011 to 2023.
Okay, that's like over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Over 10 years ago. Just be on the safe side. Because like you're like 2011 to that's 13 years, 12 years. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a very long time ago.
How long it took to break that record. And it's still continuing, because actually there's another match coming up and you never know how he's going to perform. Then the finals as well. So more records are yet to be broken.
Yeah, you can continue with that.
And then we go down to Rohit Sharma becomes the first Indian bowler to take a wicket bowling at number 9 or lower, in the sense that he also became the first man from any country to do it in the World Cup. Talking about the wickets, reminds me of the wickets Virat Kohli took yesterday. Yeah. That was amazing. The celebration was like, oh my goodness. I guess they were just rotating the bowlers and saying, hey, you can go ahead for fun. And on his luck, he managed to take that wicket. Yeah. Then we go back again to the highest individual scores in the World Cup after match 45 out of 45. So in the first place, we have Glenn Maxwell, Australia, with 201 not out. We've got Mitchell Marshall, second place from Australia, with 177 not out. Third place, we've got Quinton de Kock from SA, 174. We've got David Winner at fourth position from Australia. He has 163. Fifth place, we have David Conway from New Zealand, 152 not out. Sixth place, we've got David Malan from England, he has 140. Seventh place, we've got Van der Denzel from SA. Joke my English. 133. Eighth place, we've got Mohammed
Rizwan.
Rizwana from Pakistan, 131, not out. Then lastly, we've got in the ninth
The
position, we've got Rohit
man of the
Sharma
moment.
from India, 131 as well. But the way he is playing and the position he is, it shows that he's just consistent in whatever he does. He makes sure he's just stable in there. He goes there,
Mm,
creates the foundation, and that's it. He's
yeah.
not those guys who will be out there throwing their bets, making sure they've the quickest 50s or the centuries, but he's
Yeah.
just there to create that foundation for his team. Then we look at the most wickets for Netherlands in the World Cups. We look first De Leeds, he has 15 wickets. Then Tim De Leeds, he has 14 wickets.
How great that it's father and son, you know,
Imagine.
for the most wickets for Netherlands, you know,
And
where
the son has the most, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I mean, he made sure yesterday to get you know, a wicket, and you know, hopefully his dad will have something nice to say about him this time around.
Maybe it's one of those tough love type of moment where you know
Yeah.
how athletes will be like showing love to each other, but from the outside of people, you don't understand what's going on. We think they're just being mean, but that's how they're encouraging them to toughen up and be like, this is good, but you still need to achieve
Oh
more. You
yeah.
shouldn't settle for where you are right now.
Let's wrap it up with the most fours in a World Cup 2023 after match 45 for 45. And number one, you've got Rohit Sharma after 9 innings with a total of 503 runs, 58 fours. Quinton de Kock, of course, coming second on that log table at number with after 9 innings with 591 runs, and of course a total of 57 fours. And number three, we've got Virat Kohli, the Indian man, after 9 innings with 594 runs and 55 fours. At number four, Rashin Ravindra, the New Zealand boy, with after 9 innings with 565 runs and of course 52 fours. So this is the top five because the list is going to be very long. So the top five at number five, David Conway, also New Zealand, after 9 innings, a total of 359, 51 fours. So it's so good to see New Zealand with two players in the top five. And these would be the players to look out for, especially in that semi final against India. I believe that these are the players that could really just change that game for New Zealand. And maybe like it might even go their way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm wrapping it up with the most sixes in a World Cup. This is after the last match of the group stages yesterday. Number one, Rohit Sharma, after 9 innings with a total of 503 runs, 24 sixes. Glenn Maxwell, Australian, coming at number two after 7 innings with a total of 397. 22 sixes. Quinton de Kock, South African, after 9 innings with 594 and 21 sixes. Number four, the Australian David Werner, after 9 innings with a total of 499 and 20 sixes. At number five on that list is Mitchell Marsh, the Australian, also with eight. After 8 innings, a total of 426 and 20 sixes. So it's been a great tournament, it seems, for the Australians, for South Africans, for India, as well as New Zealand. And these are the four teams that are in the semi-finals. So this now just makes the anticipation of the semi-finals to be like a great one. You know, it makes us look forward to that.
Seeing what's going to happen.
Mm.
Because I'm just checking out the previous game between New Zealand versus India in the group stage, how they performed.
Mm.
Here, India won by 4 wickets. That means New Zealand had done some really good damage in the sense that they were now left with 4 people to save the team. Then I feel tomorrow, I mean, on Wednesday, it's going to be a great game, and they would want to do better than what they scored, what they did here. And yeah, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and of course, those are the two semi-finals that we're going to be looking forward to. Semi-final number one, New Zealand up against against the unbeaten team in the group stages, that is India. And of course, the semi-final is between the two teams, Australia. The old rivalry will be, just obviously be put to rest this time around, Australia up against South Africa. And we will be here to preview those matches for you. But right now, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next time.